Welcome to this overview, which is going to look at the robots.txt tester, the Sitemaps function, and the URL parameters. So let's just get straight into it. The robots.txt tester function, what this shows you is if basically any of your pages have been blocked. So what it's saying right now is that there's 0 errors and 0 warnings, which is very good. There's nothing. Normally you'd get something around here saying these pages are blocked, but if we just test a page, any old page, okay, not that page, but if we just go back to, say, the portfolio, and we just grab that link for portfolio, just test that, then it's allowed. So that's what it shows you. So basically it's being picked up by all of these from Google Image, so any images will show up in images, any video, so the mobile searches, everything, news as well. So basically you want to make sure that all of your pages show allowed to have the most transparent site and the one most favored by Google. So that's good. What you also need to do is just check that there isn't anything showing up here. This is a standard robot.txt tester result. So it's got a sitemap. It's gone through it all and it hasn't detected any blockages or any restricted pages. So that's very good. Let's click on to Sitemaps now. And if you do notice, as I say, if you do notice anything showing up here, we will get some warnings or errors. You can look at those pages, and what you can do is just make sure they are submitted to the Google index, and if you don't want them to be, then you can manually exclude them through remove URLs, but it's best to have them crawled by Google and then manually excluded than just blocking them on the outright. So that's where that is. Let's click on Sitemaps. This gives you your whole sitemap. And if you click on that, so Google takes a view of all your pages, and it's saying if there's any issues. So if we go back to that, it's saying that there's been 114 submissions of web pages and 108 indexed. I assume that's okay. It says 558 warnings. Now these mostly relate to outdated information where there was a sitemap contains URL which is blocked. I think that's all been resolved. So Weebly Cloud Hosting, and Weebly Cloud Hosting. This was a page which created a legal dispute that has subsequently been removed, and there's no record of it anymore. If we go to that, yep, and if we go to the cache of that, oh, don't want that. If we go to the cache of that, then you can't find it either. So that is fine. Yeah, so basically no issue there. So those will eventually sort of be thrown away. It says 558 issues. There's really not, and you'd get like an error showing up here. What we do is we do submit a sitemap if you need to. So what you can do is you can resubmit it and push close. If you need to create a sitemap, there's a link down below which shows you the best way to do it, a free solution, and then you can just upload that to the Google Webmaster under Sitemaps, and the test function that just tests it, so it says 114 submitted, no errors found. So that's a summary of sitemaps. Just make sure you have a sitemap, make sure that there's not any errors, and make sure that it's up to date, so you're not missing out any pages. I know that you can fetch them as Google, but it's just good to always download a good new sitemap if you're doing some structural changes to your website. The last step here is going to be the URL parameters. What this really shows up in saying is, it's a very high level view, but it's basically saying There's no errors in the site, so don't do anything. Most websites, most small business websites, most startup websites, sort of even software as a service stuff, even something with MySQL, some sort of index, some sort of database, you don't actually need to know about the stuff. It's not really relevant, so it's there for now, but no action is really needed. So that's the summary of the robots, the sitemaps, and the URL parameters. You can really just ignore the last one. When the sitemaps is just good to index once or to submit once and make sure you always keep it up to date if you are structurally changing your website. And the robots.txt is just making sure that none of your pages are excluded from being crawled, and if they are, if you want them to be excluded, then you can submit them manually through the crawl index under remove URLs. But apart from that, this is a very simple roadmap just to sort of get in touch with everything which you need. Then you can put it into practice. So yeah, just get that robots.txt and get a sitemap. That should have you sorted. Thanks very much for watching.